Are you ready? Because he's ready. It's Master Jeff, martial arts expert, instructor extraordinaire, and general clown. He's not afraid of coronavirus. He's not afraid of the bad guys. Master Jeff is not afraid of anything.
Whoa! What is up, guys? Sorry, I could not get the chat working. For some reason, I get into turn on the live stream, and there's no chat. So I started searching settings, and the chat wasn't coming up. So I opened up a new live stream and enabled the chat, then deleted that live stream, then came back to this one, and boom, there's all you guys chatting. So that was awesome that finally started working. So let's go ahead and bow in. I've been neglecting bowing in lately, which is not a good thing. I think we need to keep up that whole structure and formality. There are flags right there. See at the top of my finger, I'm balancing the flags on my finger right now. So we can bow to those. Here we go. You doing this too, Zoe? Right, chitty up, Kogi Dahayo, Chonet, Puddle, Mukyam. God, thank you very much for this opportunity for us to rock and roll. Please help us to have fun rocking and rolling. In Jesus' name, amen. Then let's face the old man, attention bow. And let's face the young black belt, attention bow. Very good. And then let's start off just with some horse stances like this. This is as high as you will go for this warm-up. Don't straighten your knees. This is as high as it gets. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And hold it down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Let's shake them out a little bit. And let's shake our wrists out too, because we're going to be using these today. Shake them up high. Shake them down low. Shake them really fast. Shake them really slow. All right, I'm going to shoulders a little bit. And there are a few undos that I do. It's just Japanese for an exercise. Tai Chi kind of related. Tai Chi, I think Aikido picked these up from Tai Chi, like every other martial arts form picked things up from Tai Chi. But the first one, you just do a tenkan with your feet. You step forward, step back. Step forward, step back. I'll do it sideways so you can see. As you're doing that, you dive in the water with this hand, and then you push back the way from what you can. Dive in the water, push. And don't let your head get any higher than that. Dive in, push. Aiki undo. Aiki undo. Aiki undo. Undo, Aiki undo. And the same footwork, but you make big hands. Uda Furi undo, which sounds like Lufarigno undo, like you're going, whoa, except you're really making an ikkyo. Making an ikkyo like this, making an ikkyo like that, or like you're washing a big wall. Good. And then there is Sayu Undo, which you Aikido people will recognize as a kind of a Kokyunage exercise. So we start off like your hands are going to be ocean waves. So you make a big circle, step to the side, ocean wave crashes. We step on through, and it crashes over to this shore. Step up, way down, around. There's also a constant twisting. So I'm stepping through, I'm twisting this way. Ocean crashes. I twist back this way. Twist back this way. So I'm this way, crash, 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 just like that. So those are good, just kind of get your blood circulating a little bit. So before we start, I'm going to do a few weapon disarms, but I feel like I have to qualify this a little bit. You get these knuckleheads on YouTube. They always want to cause controversy or make things a zero-sum game. This technique doesn't work. Well, any technique doesn't work under a lot of circumstances. It's like saying a punch doesn't work. See, watch this. See, watch this. I'm going to have 7. Okay, go ahead, punch me. See, does it work? Well, of course it didn't work. I was expecting it, idiot. So these guys just say, oh, this disarm won't work. This whole style of martial arts won't work. Hogwash. They're saying something that requires a qualifying statement. Like, oh, he deserves to die for that. Oh, he deserves so-and-so for that. Well, that requires a qualifier. Deserves according to whom? Because in certain laws in certain countries, one thing makes you deserve death. That same thing in this country, like eating fried chicken or something, you do it all the time. And so, no, you don't deserve death for that. So what's the qualifier? Or that's just right, or that's just wrong. It's just the right thing to do, or that's just wrong. Well, according to whom? And the same thing with a technique. Well, this technique always works. I seriously doubt that. Always works for what? It won't work for stopping a nuclear warhead, probably. You know, if it's a hand-to-hand technique combat. So anyway, so a lot of these techniques that I show just give you the fundamentals of how a joint works, how a grip works, and it's up to you to say, okay, well, is anybody going to come up and stick a gun in my face like this? Maybe. And if they do, then it's going to be cut and dry. You just bang, do your technique, and you're done. If somebody's going to come up and they got a half weaver stance with a supported grip and they're 10 feet away, obviously the technique won't work. You know, a punch won't work if the guy's wearing a motorcycle helmet. You know, jiu-jitsu's not going to work if there's 3 of them and one of them has a crowbar. It's not going to work. That doesn't mean jiu-jitsu's bad. It's a great art. You know, kicking, great. It's great to kick, but what happens when you get taken to the ground? At that point, your kicks are no good. So everything, you know, it's for the situation to which it is applicable. And like I said, a lot of the stuff I try to teach is just raw material of how something basic works, you know, like a Kotegayashi. Well, that won't work. Well, yeah, I'm showing you the mechanics of how to get a wrist like that. There are infinite ways that you could get into it and that you could get out of it and that you can escape from it. You know, so I'm just showing you Kotegayashi, bro. Same thing with a disarm. I'm showing you, you know, if you can get to this position, here's the leverage that will wrench the knife / gun / crowbar out of somebody's hand. And then that way, the lesson kind of, you know, it's a book that grows pages. Oh, well, with what Master Jeff told me, oh, I could take this and turn around this way, or if he's moving quicker, I could come from this side, but I still get to that point of leverage, of mechanical advantage. And yes, the technique works. So let's start off with a, yes, sir.
Speaking of that, are we going to do that technique?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, 7 just asked if we're going to do that technique. Probably so, because I'm just going to rifle through them. Let's start with a knife. And I was an irresponsible teacher, did not have my... By the way, this is called a tanto, a wooden knife, right? So one thing to be familiar with before you start, or to establish rather, is what's the sharp side and what's the dull side. You know, and with a tanto or a bokken, you have this broader side down here that's typically used for the blade, because if you're going to be practicing slashing and hitting it on stuff, you don't want it to break. Then there's a thinner side back here that is actually the dull side. You see a lot of beginners, oh, this is the more narrow side, so that must be the blade. No, and it's kind of got a slight curve. You see like this, much like a knife would, so it cuts this way. So that's the way the tanto works. So obviously, if you're in a situation where you're going to have to grab a blade, you don't want to grab the sharp side, you want to grab the dull side, and you don't want to wrap your hands all the way around, you want to like monkey paw it. And so there's the sharp part of the blade right there. That can give you a ton of leverage. So let's just start with that one. And for all the people who are going to watch this video and say, that won't work, nobody's going to stand there, you're right. I'm not showing it to you for that. I'm showing you the mechanics. So if you get in your wild motion, manage to get to this position, I'm showing you the mechanics of what to do once you get there. How you get there, there are infinite ways. So once you get here, you stabilize his wrist and you grab the dull side of the blade and you make a circle over like that. And it pops it right out. One mistake is to leave the blade pointed this way. If I do, even though I'm like 10 times 7's weight, he's holding right onto it. So, oh, see, it doesn't work. Well, you're not doing it right. So I want to point the blade back toward him and wrench it this way, and then look at his thumb right there. See what's happening to his thumb? I'm wrenching it out like that. And you have to be careful with your buddy because you can really jam that thumb as you come around like this. And see the blade's pointed toward him like that, and there's just nothing you can do. The leverage is so much greater here, pushing straight down, because they're using this motion, you're using this motion. And this motion is a lot stronger than this twist motion or than the grip. So even if you're smaller, so Zoe, you come right here, please. She just stabilizes my wrist. And then you grab that, point that blade back toward me, and then wrench it down. Yep, just like that. And, oh, well, you're just standing there. Yes, I am. I'm just illustrating that if you can get to that position, that's the leverage that will work. You know, and there are all kind of ways you could. There are all kind of ways you can't. You know, if somebody's going crazy with a knife like this, obviously you don't do that one. But if they're going crazy and you happen to go, oh, I caught his wrist. Oh, wait a minute, kapow, and then you just snatch it right out of there. But if you go, oh, I caught his wrist. Oh, but I deleted Master Jeff's video, so now I don't know what to do with it. And he's sitting there and he's about to get loose and cut the crap out of me. So you want to know how to do something if you catch him some way, right? Okay, so enough griping about the crazy people on YouTube. I suspect that what these people are really is hit masters. I used to reply to those and we would get into a great big YouTube war, making videos from each other's videos, which of course creates links back to your video, and people are clicking on it and your clicks go up and up and up and your views go up and up and up, and if it's a paid video it goes up and up because you're just arguing. And I realized I'm not here to argue, bro. I'm here to practice martial arts. So, okay, enough about that crap. So one thing you can think of with this technique is getting the knife to do a cone this way around their arm, not this way, because their wrist can go all day. You want to get it back, and like this is the tip of the ice cream cone. I'm making the cone go this way around the arm, and it'll eventually break right through. As soon as you get it out in front, they can twist with it. Get it behind, they can't twist with it like that. Okay, so that's one knife. If they've got, yes, sir.
Are we going to do gun disarms?
Maybe, yeah. We're just going to see where this goes. So another one we do all the time that's really Hollywood. And once again, qualifying statement, it's got to be somebody who doesn't have a death grip. If they've got a death grip on the knife and their objective is to not let you take it away and they've got all their focus on this grip, then kick them and let them keep the knife because they got so much focus on this. On the other hand, if they're like, hey man, whatever, and they're not really focusing on the grip, they think they've got you cowed and they just have the knife in your face, it is so easy to knock it right out of there. Seven's going to demonstrate this one. Oh, wait a minute, let's turn this way. If you're practicing at home, keep in mind the knife is going to fly toward the open side of your hand. So if I'm standing here like this and Seven disarms it, this knife is going to go woo, woo, woo. And then you guys are going to get a technical difficulties screen. So I'm going to go this way.
Wait, am I doing this?
Yep, you're going to do the pop out. Almost. There we go. So this one does work, but you got to kind of hold your tongue just right, and it takes a little bit of practice. And what Seven did wrong the first time was that he focused on hitting the hand with the knife rather than keeping my wrist from moving. And the whole reason it works is because this is moving this way and this is moving that way. And if that happens, eventually the knife gets left behind. And if your grip is down here like this, it naturally loosens. I've worked with a few physical therapists And even for people who have lost like grip in their arm, one of the things they teach them is to let their hand relax, and then if their hand tilts back, your fingers naturally come together. When your arm tilts forward, your fingers naturally come apart. So you can pick up something just by lifting your wrist and letting the weight of your fingers pick it up. So people can get, minimal, but that they can at least use their hands. And that whole phenomenon is what this disarm is based on. Then, of course, we're going really ballistic and really hard. Another one with this is that when you hit that arm, like, okay, here's the hand holding the knife. There's the guy's arm. And by the way, we're just talking about it. It kind of looks like, well, he's hitting the hand this way and he's hitting the arm that way, right? And it's not really the case. He's holding on to the knife like that or whatever. And there's his arm. And then you're really blocking his wrist this way. And you're hitting his arm this way. So that when his wrist bends over, it's not only a 90-degree angle, because your wrist will make, mine will make almost a 90-degree angle, even though once you make that 90-degree angle, you lose control of your fingers. Then imagine if you hit that arm, if you hit that wrist to an acute angle. An obtuse angle, I'm still holding it. 90-degree angle, the fingers loosen. If he can get it bent here to an acute angle, the fingers are coming open, and it really puts pressure on those extensor tendons on the back of your arm. No knife. What can I do? Dude, use anything. I don't have a knife. I have got a wooden thing called a boken. You can use a marker. You can use a TV remote. You can use a banana. And I'm not kidding. You can use a banana. I wouldn't recommend eating it afterwards because it's going to be a little bruised. But get anything about that big that you can hold.
A plastic knife.
Yeah, anything. And of course, the smaller the object, that's another thing. You get these Crocodile Dundee knives, so easy to disarm because there's so much to grab. You get like a box cutter, dude, those are impossible. This technique won't work.
The size of a box.
This won't work on a box cutter. They've got the whole freaking weapon in their fist and a little bitty corner of the blade. Box cutters are bad stuff. In that case, you have to get control of the entire arm. Anyway, let's look at this again. So as 7 is hitting my hand, he needs to hit this hand straight toward the camera. And this one, instead of focusing going straight toward the wall, he pushes that one this way. So the knife should almost hit me on the way through. And it's really going to crunch my wrist there at the last minute. And then he hits them with equal speed, not like this, but like that. So here he comes. Oh, yeah. That was a primo one. And if I'm not watching what I'm doing, if I don't have a death grip on that knife, it's going to pop right out of there. And a lot of people, most people, the vast majority of people aren't trained knife fighters. They think they're going to intimidate you with a weapon by just holding it out like this. And in that case, it will work. It will work. Once again, if the guy's going crazy, slashing and dashing, it's not going to work. It's not what I'm talking about. That's not the application for this thing. All right, so let's let Zoe try that one. Just see how she does. We'll try it with 7. 7, hold it and let Zoe pop it. So hold it. If you're going to hold it with your left hand, you stand on that side. So you come over here. Almost. Oh, there you go. So the first one Zoe did, the reason the first one didn't work is because it was more of a push instead of a ballistic strike. It's got to strike all of a sudden. Because your body, even with a half of a second, can kind of set up and brace for it. And it obviously won't work. So even though I'm bigger than 7, he's holding it like, okay. He's holding it like that. Even as big as I am, this won't work because I'm just pushing. I'm just pushing both things, and his body has got a chance to set up for it and adapt, whereas that one, oops, ouch, sorry about that. Now when his wrist actually hit my arm, which kind of hurt, but it still wrenched out just because it cranked your wrist, right? Okay, so we've done this one. Let me see this one. We've done this one where we're grabbing, and instead of straight over, and instead of this angle, we're coming in and then making that ice cream cone. We've done this one where we come the wrist and here. And notice I lifted it up a little bit just for illustrative purposes. If he's down here like this, and a lot of gangbangers will come right after your privates or threaten your privates because they feel like that's intimidating, which I guess it would be. In that case, you don't get down here and go, okay, let me get it. You just adjust your grip right there, like that. You just come from the top instead of from the bottom. The principle works the same. For that matter, 7, hold with your right hand, please. Right hand. 7's a lefty. I'm just more used to working with righties, quite frankly. I need to practice with the left too in case I happen to get attacked by the 1 out of 100 left-handed violent criminals that are walking the streets. All this time I've been practicing against a right-handed guy. Here comes a lefty. Or I get attacked by an octopus with 8 knives. Now what? So and I'm actually going to show this. I keep switching poor 7 around. So this one works with the same principle, but I'm not in front. I'm at the side. And, oh, why would you ever be at the side, Master Jeff? Well, what if my buddy is standing over here, and this knucklehead is threatening her? Oh, too bad. Here, let me help you, Zoe, so I can get in my optimal position. No, I can just come right here. Same principle. I just need to stop his wrist, like this hand did a while ago, and I need to move this hand like this hand did a while ago, so I simply switch the duties. I grab him here, and I hit him here really, really hard. And I'm not hitting that way, which would be a 90-degree angle. I'm hitting this way. So his hand totally rolls up. And then if you're quick enough, let me see if I can do this without ruining my camera. The harder you hold, the harder I have to hit. So right now, just for illustrative purposes, just hold nice and loose like that. Once again, it's just to illustrate so I don't have to hurt his hand. If I can hit and catch, you can actually catch the knife as it flies, like that. And if you rewind and go slow motion, I am not doing this. I'm hitting it, it's flying out, and I'm catching it right there, right after it flies out of his hands. Later on the rewind, play this in slow motion and just double check. But you don't want to have to do this and like fight for it and grab it out of his hand, because all there is up here is blade, dude. So if I'm grabbing the blade, I might get it from him, but I'm going to have some severed tendons.
And I'll have time to like.
Yeah. And even if you're hitting it fast, you don't hit it fast and grab it. No, it's not going to work. You hit it this way. And once again, I just said it's not going to work, but there's a great book, Strong on Defense, by a guy, a homicide investigator, Sanford Strong. And he has some hair-raising, true-to-life police reports all through this book. And one of them, this guy with a knife attacked this family that was camping. And he made his way slashing and dashing through the whole family and got to the wife, and she was just pissed off. Sorry to put it crassly, but she just had enough. This guy had been cutting up her family, and so she just grabbed his wrist and grabbed the blade. And since she had both, if she just grabbed the blade, he could yank it out and she's cut. And she actually tried several times, got some really bad cuts. She finally just grabbed it, held onto the arm and the blade, and finally just wrenched the blade out of his hand. She had no knife fighting experience. She just decided that she wasn't going to get killed that night. And she took the knife away from him and somehow ran the guy off. The guy finally ran off. But there's some, see if you can find it. I don't think it's in print anymore, but you often find them on Amazon for resale. Anyway, so let's look at, this is totally Hollywood, but if he's coming like for a stab, like this, he's coming to stab me, I'm out of the way like that. So he's coming to stab, and I'm out of the way like that. Now, this is Kotegaeshi for all you Aikido people. And a lot of people in Kotegaeshi just catch the arm like that. And yes, with a nice slow stab like that, you can catch the hand. But if he's really intent on stabbing me in the gut, you're not going to catch that hand. So it's good to get your whole arm over there and get it out of the way. Then, when you know where his hand is, you can catch it, get him moving, and then come over this way and take him down. Let's stand back up. And with a standard Kotegaeshi, doing this, right? Just like our usual Dr. Glove theme, taking him down for Kotegaeshi. Taking him down for Kotegaeshi like that. With a fist or a knife. Well, you don't even need the knife to illustrate this. Do your left arm this time. So with his fist, you got to just make a tight fist. I get him like this, and I try this, and even as big as I am, I can't get his wrist bent over. In that case, I catch his whole arm, and I catch his whole fist, and I just rock it over like that. Be careful when you practice because, like I said a while ago, when the wrist bends, it stretches these tendons and the fingers tend to come open. They really want to come open because there's not enough tendon to let your arms grip while your hand's down like this. Try it sometime. Try picking something on, open your watch, take off your watch with this hand. You can't do it because you have no grip down there. Once you're here, yeah, you got a grip. So when he's here and you take your whole hand and basically palm strike his wrist bent, it's really going to pull these extensor tendons. The extensor tendons. So be careful with your buddy when you're practicing for the bad guy. Hey, too bad, man. Maybe you rip all those extensor tendons loose and that you get to see him go. I like that at the end. So let's do this one slow. So he's coming in. Either hand you want, Daddy.
Either hand?
Yeah, sure. So he's stabbing me. I'm blocking with my whole arm. I'm catching his wrist. And then right as he's catching up and I'm yanking him over, I'm just catching his whole hand like that. That advantage is strengthened with the element of surprise and distraction. Like if 7 is sitting here, trying to bend my wrist over and it's not bending over. So he goes, whoop-ah, elbows me in the face. There's a minute there where I'm not thinking so much about my wrist and he's got a chance to get that knife away. It's much like the whole magician thing. Oh, yeah, but they'll see you take the quarter. Well, not if you do it right, bro. Not if you get the distraction thing going. They're looking over here, then you do it and all that business that magicians do. And martial arts is a lot the same way. You can't just kick somebody upside the head. You've got to fake here and get them used to coming over there, get them forecasting the wrong thing. Then you can kick them upside the head. Just like anything else. It's almost like a game of chess. Okay, let's see what the tenders. Yeah, very funny, very funny. Zoe, you got an applause there, sister.
Yes, and so did 7.
And so did 7. Yeah, give a clap for 7, helping out. Yeah, baby. Okay, oh, the Carballosas are here. All right, well, here's something that's rarely discussed. What if you, yes, sir?
It says the stream has been stopping and I just refreshed.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yes. We're streaming at I think 30 FPS, and we're also like at 2,500 or maybe it's 3,000 megabytes per second. So it's on up there so that you can see when we do fast moves. Like if I do this and you're seeing, then it's kind of bad for martial arts. On the other hand, the disadvantage of that is if you don't have a fast connection, sometimes you get delays. If you download the video later, I think I will allow downloading on all of our videos.
No, you have to pay if you want to download a video, I believe, on YouTube.
Anyway, if you can get it even loaded in your browser, then it doesn't have to do this by internet. So yeah, just refresh your browser and start it again. You'll be good. So I keep waiting on Master B to show over. No, don't say that word in this house. So what if you are the one with the knife? Like I said before, the whole reason these things work is opportunity. And yes, a lot of these people, that won't work. Well, you weren't presented the right opportunity. I'm saying if you get this opportunity, then yes, it will work. If somebody's dumb enough to hold a gun in your face like this, which a lot of people do, a lot of dumb bad guys do, they're not the brightest crayons in the box, it absolutely will work. And yeah, you got the guy bearing down over here. Freeze on the ground. No, the disarm's not going to work. And so if you're the one with the knife, you don't want to be dumb and say, get back, get out of my house. I'll cut you. First of all, you're crying and you look terrified. That's just going to encourage them. And second of all, you got the knife right out there waiting for them to get it. If you're walking through your house, you just heard something. Yeah, here comes the bad guy to do the disarm he learned on live stream with Master Jeff. So if you've got the knife, I suggest tucking that bad boy like this, back against your arm in here. Then you go looking through the house. Yeah, Master Jeff, what if he grabs my wrist? Fine, he grabs my wrist. Oh, he's got my wrist. Shink. And I just wait, and if he doesn't let go, shink. If he waits and doesn't let go, he's got one hand busy, shink, shink. And I just keep slicing and dicing and moving my knife back instead of holding it out here so we can get it. 1 second, please. We've been having so many technical issues that I've failed to get the martial arts part of this thing ready. The same with a gun. You're walking through your house. You got your grip down and everything. You're walking through like this. Oh, I'm going to peg him. And you go around the corner, and there he is, and he takes the gun from you. No, man, keep it up against you. Keep it up against you. Very hard to disarm this gun. And then you wait until you need the gun. Then you raise. Then you raise and fire, right? But you don't keep it poked out there until you're ready to fire. And another thing, the gun can become your enemy really quickly, so finger out the trigger until you're ready to shoot, even walking through your house. Otherwise, you're liable to kill the cat instead of the cat burglar. So, so the same thing with a gun. And I hear this all the time. Let's let Zoe get involved over here. It's okay, just leave it right there. Set that anywhere. So it's and you finger out the trigger. Very good. And kind of cup it with your thumbs on this side. There we go, like that. Good. So, and she's got her fingers off the trigger. The same thing, if somebody's got a two-handed grip like this, they're probably a little more experienced, probably going to be a little more difficult. If they're a gangbanger who's just saying, dude, you best give me your money, man. I mean, this kind of thing, you best give me your money, man. They are giving you the gun. And in this, if they give you this kind of opportunity, it will absolutely work. Just that simple gun snatch. Go ahead, sister. And it works the same as the knife thing. I'm stopping this arm from moving, and I'm moving her wrist this way and then over the top. But Master Jeff, a bullet is faster than your grip. Yes, it is. And if it worked like this, Zoe, hold here. 7, you're going to say 1, 2, 3, go. And then I'm going to try to take the gun away before Zoe shoots. You say bang when he says go. Go ahead, 7.
1, 2, 3, go.
Bang.
And I'm dead. Of course. Because she knew it was coming. Everybody knew it was coming. Now, Zoe, hold the gun up there. Now, right before I move, you say bang. Okay, I cheated that time. So, when I move, if you see me move, you say bang. You got it? I thought you were going to say bang. So, you're dealing with action versus reaction. If you can go for the gun, he's got to, I mean, it's just like in traffic. You don't just see a kid crossing, see a ball bouncing across the street. Oh, here comes a child. I'll apply the brakes. It doesn't work like that. First, your brain says there's a moving object. You just traveled another 50 feet. Oh, it looks like a ball. You traveled another 50 feet. Oh, there's a child behind it. Should I stop? Well, that's a no-brainer. Yeah. Now I'll move, which foot should I use? Oh, this one, and I pick it up. Oh, now push it down on the brakes. And by that time, you've run over the kid with all 4 tires, bro. And that's why you don't go 70 in a school zone, because it's the whole reaction time. If you were going 70 in a school zone and somebody said, okay, right up here at 3rd, there's going to be a kid who comes out in 1, 2, now! You strap on the brakes, the kid's fine. The problem is the reaction time. And if you got the gun and you're dumb enough to hold it right against their head or right in their face, then he's going to have the advantage. The disarmer is going to have the advantage because they get to decide to go. Would you hold that again? And hold it right hand, just for illustration, right hand. So another thing that helps is if you already have it moving. If I'm standing here and I go, boom! He's going to fire, not even mean to fire, right? But if I can go, whoa, hey, man, you don't, and then you take it away, then his brain has to decide, okay, he's just waving his hands. Oh, wait a minute, that's a disarm. By the time he figures that out, it's like next week, So anyway, let's look at the mechanics behind that. And Zoe, come on back up. So the same again in one hand right now, because you're the dumb criminal who's dumb enough to hold it with one hand. Don't be that person. It works the same way as the knife. I'm not going to grab it and pull like this. I mean, I'm 10 times bigger than Zoe. She's got a grip though, and it's not going to come out. She is going to come with the gun because she's got a hold of the gun. So you got to manipulate the grip. And the same thing, you stop her wrist from moving, bend it sideways to like over a 90-degree angle, and already those fingers are doing this thing where they can't make a grip. And then I just take it right over the outside, pointed it at her, right over the outside like that. And then of course, excuse me?
What if they accidentally shoot it?
Then that's the cost of doing business as a bad guy. She's asking, what if it goes off while it's pointed at them? You know, this is something important to consider though. With a firearm, I mean with a knife, it's you and the cutter, you and the attacker, that's it. With a firearm, if you're going to disarm it, one thing to think about if you're going to handle or disarm, use, target practice, anything, is that bullet goes for a long way, dude, like a mile away. You could kill somebody, you know? So if you disarm somebody, it could easily go off. And to me, personally, if somebody's got a gun on me, I'm not going to try this disarm. I've been doing these for a long time. I got them down pretty well. I'm not going to try a disarm, bro. No way. The only way I'm going to is if I feel like that I really need to. Same home invasion situation. Two guys break into my house. One guy's standing here with a gun on my head. I will shoot you, man. I will kill you dead, bro. And the other guy's back there headed to my family. Oh, what do we have here? A couple of young ladies. Okay. So now it's worth it. Maybe, you know, I might get shot in the face, probably going to get shot in the face, but I'm not going to sit here with a gun to my head that easy and let something bad happen to my wife or my daughter. I'm going to go for it. And I've practiced this, and I think I can do it. I'm pretty darn sure I could do it. In a robbery situation, hey, man, give me your money. I'm just going to give him my money. That can be replaced. I can't replace my life. I can't even replace my finger if my finger gets shot off, which it totally could. You know, it's not worth even a 1 in 1,000 chance of that. I'm just going to give him the money. So all these disarms are if there's no other choice. And if it's worth it to you, you know, to get shot in the belly or shot in the head, well, then by all means, go for it. You might as well. You got nothing to lose. But if it's just a matter of a Rolex or your car or especially your pride, give it to them. You know, most of them are not going to shoot you anyway. I think it's like 1 out of 10, maybe less than that. I think it was actually 3 out of 100 will shoot you. And so just give them the money. You know, just give them the money. So there's some other cool. I just said a while ago, and I got distracted. Sorry, I'm kind of in that class adrenal mode. So let's say you've got something at home. You've pulled out, say, a knife. Let's get a little bit bigger knife. That represents like a butcher knife. And the guy grabs, let's use Zoe again. The guy grabs my wrist, which could be a problem. I've got the knife, but now he's like, ha, 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 and he's got a hold of it, right? If I can get this thing over and get a hold of the dull side and just trim right down his arm like that. Kind of cool. So you got the knife. So I'm thinking, oh, what are you going to do now, little lady? Huh? Take it around this way, and I'll grab it with the other hand and just trim. Oh, yeah, carve you a big old slab of redneck wrist. Oh, yeah, redneck sushi. And so she just ran into the difference, depending on which hand. It'll work with either hand, but I did a parallel grab, so she ducked under, and now it's going to carve the back of my arm. But she pulls down with both hands, and boy, it'll flat carve it out. And if it's a cross hand grab, then when she takes it over, now it's going to go right across the front of my wrist like that. So it'll either get them there or there. But you just take it right around, grab the dull side, and start carving. What do you do to a door? What do you call that when you plane? You're planing, like you're planing a door, right? You just plane off that wrist. And plane that bad boy. Good Lord, is it 5:53?
Yes.
Black belt class starts like in
8 minutes.
Yeah, And it's about to be 6 minutes now.
Yeah.
6 minutes as of this very second. All right, well, I hope you guys got a little something out of that. We didn't do as much Aikido as I had intended, but hopefully the whole concept, and if you can take those basic concepts, you can make these things up, man, no kidding. Because it's just the concept of loosening the grip. You know, the grip also doesn't work very well. You hold a gun here. Had a friend who was threatened, held at gunpoint at a church right here. The guy was pointing right at his privates. And my friend's like, hey, man. And the dude shot him in the leg. He didn't think he'd been shot. So he was so incensed, he thought it's an air gun because he just felt the puff of air on his leg. So the bad guy's like that, huh? And so my friend just grabbed the gun away like this, not trained at all, not even athletic, and threw the gun. And somehow I think also the guy shot him in the back. And but anyway, I'm getting off on another. He lived. He was fine. He didn't even know he had been shot until he started doing the slip and slide in his car seat on the way home. Went to the emergency room. The bullet had gone, missed his femur, missed his femoral artery, missed every organ in his body, went in here, out there, missed everything. He got stitches for the entrance and exit wounds. That's it. I think they gave him a tetanus shot. He was it was in a church parking lot. So he's like, thank you, Lord. I will come to church every day from now on. So anyway, the grip also doesn't work very well. So I just started working with this. As soon as I heard that, I thought, I don't want to get shot in the crotch, bro. So I thought of just coming right there and then just twisting the gun up this way, because the grip also doesn't work very well that way. Of course, you don't want to grab it right here, so you want to get it down here and get your legs apart where it's pointed at the ground, and then you wrench it this way. And yes, it's always like 1/4 my weight. I've done it with guys my size and twice as big. Kristen Mertz, you can't hold on to it. If you get the mechanical advantage, you can't hold on to it. Anyway, so those are just some ideas. You work with mechanical advantage against the vulnerable points of the grip. And of course, you use it where it's applicable. You use it where you have the opportunity. And with any martial art, with any technique, you have to be creative and you have to know where to apply it. You can't say, oh, I've got my punch. I'm just going to come up to this guy and punch him. No, you're not, because he's going to move. You have to figure out where to use it. Okay, sorry, guys. Yeah, it is a miracle. Sorry, guys. I've got to get out of here. I've got to change my uniform before black belt class. And for all you black belts and third reds, I hope to see you in black belt class. So that means we are out of here!
This has been a South Miami Taekwondo live stream with Master Jeff. Avoid practicing the techniques you learn in live stream with Master Jeff while drunk, stoned, sloshed, tipsy, buzzed, blotto, slammed, plowed, trolley, play-eyed, hammered, wasted, inebriated, or otherwise intoxicated. Watching live stream with Master Jeff, you acknowledge the possibility of and waive all liability for hematoma, laceration, occipital fracture, broken nose, articulated or dislocation, strained wrist, hyperextended elbow, broken ribs, bruising or bleeding, tears, sprains, fractures, dislocated shoulder, or concussion. All rights reserved. Unauthorized presentation and publication strictly prohibited.